Last week, One American News revealed that billionaire George Soros was the third largest lobbyist in the nation's capital in 2018. Now, this week, OANN is returning to take a deeper look at Soros's foundations amid allegations they may be misleading the IRS with their tax filings. One America's Richard Pollock has more on this from Washington.
One American News previously examined the Open Society Policy Center, a lobby group founded by billionaire George Soros that last year spent $32 million to defeat President Trump in Congress. But here's another Soros secret One American News has uncovered. It turns out that the Policy Center doesn't pay for any of its employees. That's right. According to a footnote buried in the Policy Center's filing before the Internal Revenue Service, every Soros employee, officer, director, and trustee is paid for by another group called the Open Society Institute, the Soros Family Foundation. This means that the Policy Center really is not an independent, standalone organization. It can be regarded as a wholly owned subsidiary of the Soros Family Foundation. Jonathan Kaplan, a spokesman for the Policy Center, said the arrangement is a common one and is entirely consistent with federal tax law requirements. But One American News discovered another discrepancy. It turns out the Institute, the parent foundation that pays for all of the Policy Center's salaries, claims on its own tax return that it doesn't attempt to influence any legislation. This, of course, is completely misleading, since the Policy Center does all of its lobbying. Scott Walker, the president of a watchdog group, says the entire arrangement appears to be, frankly, hypocritical.
It's hypocrisy on a stunning level, even for the left, because George Soros's, most of the things he operates call themselves open this, open that, and he funds, not only in this country but around the world, transparency operations and projects that pound the tables all over the world demanding transparency of organizations, and this is as non-transparent an arrangement as I've ever seen.
But there are risks for the Soros family to do things this way. The family fund is a private foundation, and as such, they are very restricted from lobbying activities. If the IRS were to determine that the Family Foundation was paying a substantial amount of money to influence legislation in the United States, then there's a possibility they could lose its tax-exempt status. And if the IRS were to rule against the nonprofit, it might have to pay taxes on a substantial part of the $3.7 billion that resides in the foundation's bank accounts. Interestingly enough, in 2016, an openness and transparency organization organized by Soros and financed by them concluded that the Open Society Foundations were the least transparent of all think tanks in the United States. The group ranked think tanks worldwide. The rankings were between 0 and 5. The Soros Group ranked 0. It was dead last of all U.S.-based think tanks in terms of openness and transparency. Executive Director of Transparify said the lack of transparency can raise questions about hidden agendas. The 0 ranking was particularly striking since Transparify exclusively receives all of its income from a Soros organization. Walter told One American News he was shocked by the misleading nature of both the Policy Center and the Open Society Institute.
I've spent decades studying nonprofits. I've never seen that kind of obfuscation before, ever. And it's especially significant because they're obfuscating lobbying operations, and as you point out, not a small lobbying operation, a gigantic lobbying operation.
Further complicating Soros's claims of openness, one of the Institute's main investments is with Quantum Endowments Limited, which is based in the Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands is an offshore country and handles all financial transactions in complete secrecy. For One American News, this is Richard Pollock in Washington.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.